first time to actually use my air conditioning in this car. Usually I only drive with the windows down, you know. I love hearing that exhaust gas system. So, I guess I just hit the auto button. There we go. Got AC on that. Normally I have the sunroof popped open, vented, the windows down, but just for audio purposes, I'm going to leave those up and just put the AC on for a little bit. So, I wanted to just kind of talk about my previous videos that I put up to kind of help the community a little bit. One of the videos that I put up was the. You know what? Let's not get to that yet. Let's start off how I got involved in loving the Dodge cars and stuff like that. So back in 2007, say 2008, 2009. 2009 was when I got my first car, and that was a Dodge Avenger, which I still have today, and I put in the videos online. It's a great car to work on. Get a lot of it's so good. It's 10 years old now. It's 2009, but it only has 57,000 miles on it. I haven't had any major issues. Just kept up with regular maintenance, and it's been perfectly fine for me. I haven't had any issues with it whatsoever, except for cosmetic, actually. The hood's kind of bubbling up the paint. There's some rust building up under the hood. I've looked it up, and those are actually common for that body style in that year. So that was a 2.4 liter inline 4-cylinder with a 4-speed auto, and the 2.4 liter is actually at the time was best in its class for horsepower and torque. I believe. Don't quote me, but I believe it was one of the best in class. What held up, but the problem with that vehicle was the 4-speed automatic transmission. The 4-speed was, and still is, honestly pretty terrible. That is definitely the weak point of that car. But nonetheless, that was my first car, and I bought that. I got a great deal on it. Just turn here real quick. I got a great deal on it. It was I bought it during the time for the Cash for Clunkers. So the Cash for Clunkers was basically a government rebate. They were trying to get rid of cars that had bad gas mileage. And at the time, I had a Dodge Caravan. It was 93, maybe 92. And that was my first car. And I wound up, they were doing Cash for Clunkers, so you were getting eligible for either $4,500 or $55 or $65 or $7,500. And to get off a brand new car that met certain gas mileage. And actually, Chrysler at the time was doing matching it, Cash for Clunkers, and they would match. So if your rebate was say $7,500 from the government, they would match it, and you'd get 15 grand off of a brand new car. But it had to be a brand new car, and it had to meet specific miles per gallon, MPG requirements. So at the time, we started going a lot. I was 17 and a half or so, and I really wanted to get a car. My whole family has always been in cars and everything like that, and so I was like, you know what, I'm going to try and pull the trigger and trade this thing in. Well, I was going to get $7,500 back from the government. The problem was, and Chrysler would match that, and it was great. The problem was there was no cars on the lot. They were saw that motor. I saw it at the New York Auto Show. They had a breakdown of it. You can see internally and all this cool stuff. And I really liked that too. And I was like, all right, well. But the problem was for me was that they dropped the Hemi orange color. I believe they just went to Tour Red, and they had another orange color, but it wasn't Hemi orange. It was like more of like a I don't know how to call it. It was definitely more of like a highlighted orange or something like that. And it's a cool color, but it's just not what I want. It's not me, you know. So anyway, SRT 392, and I'm so happy about that. Later on, I learned more about the Hellcat and what it offers. It's pretty much the same car with the difference of, for 2015 to 2017, or I'd say until the SRT 392s were discontinued, which I believe is 2018, the Hellcat and the SRT 392s are actually pretty much the same car. The only difference is the power plant. They even gave like the same rims. The only difference is on the SRT 392, the rims are kind of like a smoky aluminum, and on the Hellcat they're black. The same 6-piston brakes up forward, 4 in the rear, adaptive dampening suspensions, SRT wheel, drive modes, digital dash. They're not speed governed. Everything's pretty much the same. I mean, most of it is the same except for the power plant for those years until they discontinued the SRT 392. I didn't really know much about the Hellcat, and when I looked at them, they were way overpriced. I mean, there was one on the deal on the dealership, and it was marked up almost like 12 grand. I mean, the MSRP was like 69, 70,000, and it was at $82,000 on the lot. And I was like, "Are you going to come down at all? Like, can we work something out?" And they're like, "No." They're like, "If you don't buy it, somebody else will." And I was just like, I can't internally. I can't let myself pay over $10,000 MSRP for a car. Like that's ridiculous. So I wound up not getting it. Then they wound up, and there was also some more factors in that too. I was actually considering getting it, and then I wanted to pay off my student loans, and it was either I could pay off my student loans and get the SRT 392 and have one payment, or I could not pay off my student loans, have a Hellcat, and have 2 payments. And I was like, you know what? I really want to like move out of my house at that time and have my own place and everything. So I wound up just paying off my student loans and getting the SRT 392, which I think is just as good. I mean, the 392 in the SRT model it's loud. It has the same exhaust as the Hellcat. I mean, this thing is loud. I rev the engine for people that come by and they're like, "That's stock?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Damn." It's really just as, it's very good. 500 horsepower is more than enough to get me in trouble on the road, and it's a lot of fun. I Dodge offering the Bondurant Racing School package. It comes when you buy an SRT model. You get like to go to Bondurant Racing School for free for a day. That was one of the greatest things I've ever did. I mean, that seriously, because you got people buying these very, very, they're expensive, but they're very like high output cars, and to learn how to drive it like that, like they teach you how to drive it under certain conditions, like what to do, like brake really hard, how to change lanes, transfer control. I mean, it was great. It was honestly one of the best things that they could have ever offered. Like, hey, congratulations on buying a super high horsepower car. Now we're going to teach you how to handle it properly. Great job on their part. I hope they still offer it. I'm not really sure, but I hope they do, because that was honestly the best thing for a driver. So here I am with the SRT 392 and the Dodge Avenger, and I put up some videos on it. I like to work on both of them once in a while. This one's still under warranty, I believe, until this year. Maybe a month or two on it. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm thoroughly enjoying both cars. And for the only thing I've really done to this car was I put the oil catch can in it from Billet and the Mopar cold air intake. That was pretty much it. See, the Mopar cold air intake, I was really wondering if that would be worth it or not, because I wouldn't really call it a cold air intake. I'd probably call it more of just an open air filter. But there's always like people saying that they don't do anything, they're wasting money, blah blah blah. So I wanted to see if putting the cold air intake in and putting the headlight mod, opening the headlight, would really actually open up the air temperatures to make them lower or not. And there was no videos on that, so I added that video up. I hope it's helpful for some people. The intake temperatures did go down a pretty decent amount from opening that headlight with the open air filter. On most days I get about a 3 to 4 temperature difference between out if this is something you want, you just got to work hard and make it your priority.